One more time, I'm sorry. Good morning, St. Andrews. Good morning, please. Okay. Yeah. Happy Library Day to you all, and I wish you a great day forward. I want to start by welcoming every single individual who has taken their time to attend this event. The students, the teachers, the writers, the authors, and more importantly than anything else, the dreamers of our country. First, before we begin anything, few guidelines. I will give you about 30 seconds to maybe put your phone on vibrate or silent so that there are no disturbance during this panel discussion and launch event. If you want to attend any calls, please take the exits. There are 2 exits, but use this one. If you want to use the washroom, please follow yourself, let yourself out without any disturbance. And you will, of course, encouraged to be active listeners during the panel discussion and be brave questions for the Q&A session. Is everyone home and ready for the book launch of this book? Recently released, CHALTA HAI?
Yes.
Yeah. Give me a loud applause and let's get this event started. My name is Vasco. I am the host for this event and the moderator for the panel discussion. And I really hope that you bring something valuable from your each individual side. I hope this adds something to your life and something moving on. To speak about what this book is, I will first have to tell you what the author is about. And the author is a hopeful, optimistic person who has written this book dedicated to the Gen Z. Dedicated to the Gen Z and the future of our country, to utilize their talents, skill, and more importantly, more powerfully, to bring about change that is necessary, not just for our country, but each individual neighborhood inside it, and each understandable environment outside of our country too. Please put your hands together for Nancet Marques. Chief founder of 30th February Publishers. He has written 2 school books so far, 2 children's books, and this is his first non-fiction genre in social activism. And Nancet Marques, good evening, good day, sorry. I'm sorry, excuse me, this is my first time. I'm trying my best.
You're doing fabulous.
Mr. Nancet Marques, please tell us a few words about what inspired you to write this book, what this book is about, and what people can expect after reading this book, during reading this book.
Thanks very much, Harvey. I wish I could borrow a bit of your height. I promise I'll try and keep this speech as short as possible. In 1997, I was in year 7, and that happened to be one of my favorite school years. Back then, students were classed in one of 2 categories. You were either good at studies or you were classed lazy. Today, I think I would qualify for the CJP. So, I was absolutely good at one thing, daydreaming. I could travel 5 different continents without moving from my chair. Can anyone of you all do that? So, until my class teacher, Miss Vera Rodriguez, did something amazing that day. She walked into the class and started reading an adventurous book consecutive days, she read the story. And on the fourth day, she came in and said, "Open your maths books." I was like, what happened to Tom Sawyer? And Miss Leela looked out at me and said, "If you want to know how the story ends, go and read it yourself." My curious mind took me straight to the library, and that made me an avid reader. I read one book, and then another, and then another. That year, I remember reading 22 books.
Whoa.
Now, Miss Leela wasn't just a teacher who was teaching us English, math, or whatever happened to be the timetable that day. She was a teacher of habits. She taught us to take care of our surrounding. And if you saw a piece of paper lying on the ground, the lesson was simple. Don't walk past it without picking it up. She was a teacher who taught us keeping our surrounding clean isn't somebody else's job. It is our responsibility. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is civic sense. My love for stories and my sense of responsibility made me an author. And another one encouraged me to write CHALTA HAI. Miss Leela, before I wrote about civic sense, you already taught it to every student of yours. And before I became an author, you taught me to read. So this book is for you. And it all began with one question. What happened to Tom Sawyer? Congratulations in completing 50 years of teaching service. And it gives me great joy to dedicate this book to you. Please welcome Ms. Leela. You could say a few words.
Good morning, everyone. I'm touched and moved by my students' request to make me the chief guest over here. He told me to speak about civic sense. It is a topic which was very dear to me, as he said. I always picked up paper in school as I would be an example to others, but the children wouldn't let me. They came and they picked up, "Miss, you don't touch, we will do it." And so it has become a habit, and a habit which was transmitted to my students. Now, what is civics or civic sense? Everything we do in a family no, the police was behind him and the police got him disobeying the rules, traffic rules. Once you step on the zebra crossing belongs to you and not to the vehicles. So he told him and warned him, never again do that, you'll be fined. I remember my own experience in Macau. I'd gone on a scholarship and I was alone and I put my foot on the crossing and a bus came in, a huge one, and I saw the bus and I stepped back, but the driver stopped and he waved out to me to cross. So I crossed, I thanked him. So these are the rules. They follow abroad in foreign countries. But what's happening here? What are we doing? By following traffic rules and all the rules of society, we are being responsible citizens. Next time you say or do something, ask yourself, am I hurting others? Am I inconveniencing others? Okay, now back again to the school. Very often I find I reach here during recess and there are hordes of students coming down and I'm waiting and waiting to go up. No one is making way for me to go up. But there was one child, not once, he did it twice and thrice. And he was Nikhil. Is Nikhil here from class 11C Arts? Is he here? No. With a big smile, he would part the children and let me go. I felt like a queen. So that is it. We should have consideration for others. I'm not saying only me, but anybody and anywhere. You go to the market, don't be pushing elders or anybody else. Don't inconvenience others. Don't hurt others by your words or actions. So, as I said to you, think before you do anything or speak anything. Will it hurt others? Will it inconvenience others? Then I shouldn't do. Have a good day. Thank you for letting me your ears.
Thank you, Ms. Meera, for your always amazing words of wisdom. We'll carry it with us throughout our lives. Now, before I introduce my next guest, Cecil Rodriguez, I would like you to have a look at that video, please.
Secondly, civic sense. Children, parents, everyone who's moving into Goa should be taught civic sense. Garbage is being thrown everywhere. People are just cutting down trees like it's no end of them, thinking that, okay, chal, I want to clear this property, just cut down. Where are we headed with that? So civic sense. And then people today don't say sorry, please, thank you. The three magical words. They keep enmity. People get out of the house with rage every morning, putting someone else's lives at risk. So our situation right now is chaotic, but it's only education and like how you said, children need to be educated. They need to read. They need to see how the outside world is. But everyone's like this.
Now, before I introduce Cecil, I want to tell you a little story. Because in many ways, this book began with her. Some time ago, I decided I wanted to start a podcast. The idea was simple, to encourage people to read more books, talk about books and have conversation with interesting people. And when we decided to line up for guests, Cecil was first on the list. The set was up, the lights were on, the cameras came on. And then suddenly I was like, oh dear, what did I do? I was nervous. I was completely unprepared to face the cameras. I was literally shaking like a chicken. You remember that, right? And somewhere in the back of my mind, I wanted to go back to Glasgow right away. And Cecil, along with my crew, somehow ended up calming me down, telling me take a deep breath, breathe in and make sure you're all set and will start again fresh. She encouraged me, she boosted my confidence and she supported me, for which I am forever grateful. As the conversation began, there was a fire in her eyes, a fire to change, a fire to speak up, a fire for standing up when something wasn't right. And then our conversation turned into something that would eventually become the heart of this book, civic sense. We spoke about the way people behave in public spaces and responsibilities, about the things we see happening around us every single day. And Cecil said something that stopped me right in the tracks. I used to be a bystander. Now I'm a participant. I used to look the other way. Now I don't. I stop and I question. And I was like, what have I been doing all these years? Just looking the other way. And those words stayed with me because suddenly I started asking myself some uncomfortable questions. Why do I look the other way? Why do we look the other way? Why do we complain about the problems around us, but so often do nothing about them? And perhaps the most important question, what can I actually do? What is within my power? How can I speak up about these things in my own way? And somewhere in the middle of those questions, a thought appeared to me. I should write a book. Something I think I am good at. And eventually, that decision became this book, CHALTA HAI, Understanding Civic Crisis, One Habit at a Time. So when I say that Cecil was part of being, Cecil was a part from the beginning, I don't mean that she sat down and told me to write this book. She didn't. But sometimes people don't have to give in. Sometimes all people need to do is give you an idea. Sometimes they simply have to give you a question. And Cecil gave it to me. Why look the other way? Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the person who helped me light the first spark. Cecil Marques. Say a few words, please.
Well, a beautiful morning to everyone. Thank you, Nancet. We always have a dream that we should write a book or we should. I am not a reader, and the first podcast was about how you read and how you do things. And And throughout my whole school life, I never read a full book. I would fall asleep after 2 pages of reading. And that's what I told him. And a few years ago, my friend forced me, like, Cecil, you are fighting a lot of issues. You have to learn how to be a leader. You have to know about it. You have to read about it, how to make a team, how to lead the team. Sometimes there is something that you learn on your own, but sometimes when you learn from great authors is how they have built big businesses, how they have led the way. And I started doing that. And I told him, I said, to my good luck, before this podcast, I just finished a book. And at least I can say I read a book finally for the podcast. But that's the beginning of what had started off. And I think so, all of us here, today you youngsters are here. I know many of you are forced to come in because you're like, but I hope few of you all get inspired by this, like how Nancet got inspired to write a book, how his own class teacher, Miss Rodriguez, Serena Rodriguez, Amazon Rodriguez, Rodriguez, inspired him. We all should get inspired by somebody. And I should not say that I got inspired by myself. No, we all have triggers in our life. Where something, like how he said, I was a bystander. I would say like, okay, fine, it's not my problem. वहाँ की that pola attitude I had.
चलता है.
That is, चलता है. In the Indian terminology, चलता है. But there comes a time where you realize and that conscience hits you so bad and you say, what are you doing? And I want to share this one story. I have a metal plate in my back because of an unpainted speed breaker, and I had got injured in my 3rd year of college. I'm a performing artist, I was a sports person, and because of this injury, I had to draw back at least 10 things, the activities that I had to do, I had to reduce it because of my back injury. And that prolonged for 4-5 years till I got operated on my back just before I could get married. Because even if I would put 5 kgs of weight, it would hamper my pregnancy and everything. I would have to have so there are a lot of complications. Coming back to the story is you get a trigger in your life at some point of time. And that trigger was this unpainted speed breaker that I flew off on the stretch, on the Kandoli stretch. During the daytime, I flew over with my car. During the night time, again, I flew over. So I said, I have to do something about it. I said, enough is enough. I called up a friend of mine from Kandoli. I said, I've never done this, but that's a very dangerous speed breaker, and I need to get this done. And trust me, not knowing head, tail about painting, paint work, anything, 10 o'clock in the night till 2 o'clock in the morning, me and Walter Lobo, if you know the activist Walter Lobo, 2 of us sat on that road with oil paints painting it. It took us 4 hours to paint that one speed breaker, and that was my start of this whole kind of an event. And post that, more than 300 speed breakers I painted in less than 3 months to make a road safety awareness. And in Vasco City, 21 speed breakers in one day. 7:30 in the evening till 4:30 in the morning. It is not easy to do what you do. And being a woman myself, I started off being all alone on that road, painting, and people stopped by and joined me. When you want to change, you be the change. People will tell you lots of things. Don't do this, don't do that, this is wrong, that is wrong. If you feel deep in your heart you want to do something, just do it. Because if you've not done it, you would not know where the impact would have reached. So, children, and Nancet and everyone here, do what you wish to do. Do not turn your back around to things. If you see something, get it done, or get friends along and make things happen. And when you get back, you'll be the most happiest person. So thank you, Nancet, and I feel privileged to be quoted in your book.
Thank you, Ms. Anita Rodriguez and Nancet Rodriguez, for insightful discipline with beautiful 2 opening speeches. I think we have warmed up enough for a great panel discussion. Guys, please, let's, with a round of applause, begin this.
to Goa. When I say came back to Goa, I was part of a dance reality show called Dance India Dance Supermom, and I was the first runners-up on that show in 2013. Being on that show and reaching that height, it was a support a lot of Goans gave me through their votes of their phones. You know, there was a voting thing, and then you would go higher in the stage in the competition. So through that, I reached where I was. And when I won that show, I came back and I said, how can I give back to the community? When you reach a certain level, you get certain fame. And you can either use that fame to make more money, or you can use that fame to also do good for the society. But when you talk and you ask the government as to what you're doing, and what you're doing is wrong, and to make things right, you don't get a lot of work. You know, when you question the people in power. And that is something which I couldn't turn my face and my thoughts away, because something that is deep inside me had to be brought out, and I couldn't go to sleep thinking about why I didn't ask this question, because that would bother me the most. And this is why I said I will stand up for what is right. I'll stand up to make things right, because as a young girl I had an opportunity to go abroad, represent Goa, and in my performing arts field, and I realized that if the government there could get great facilities, why can't we, when we are taxpayers, we pay every chocolate that you buy, any book that you buy, the cloth material for your uniform, the shoes, your bag, anything, your clips, your pins, there's a tax that has been put on, and that tax goes to the government. We give so much, but what do we get in return? So this is something that I felt it's a need, because I did not want to go abroad, and I said I'm going to question. And that's why I stopped having the CHALTA HAI attitude, and I said I don't mind getting less work, but I'll do what is right for my Goa, because I don't want to leave Goa, and this is my home. And I will see what best I can do, so that not only me, but youngsters like you and the generation that's yet to be born will have something better.
Well, out of all the things you've done, your questioning, your habit of questioning helped me write a book. And students, I'm sure it will, in your own way. So whatever you can, as Cecil said, do it in your own way. Thank you.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yes. I love this point about fame and community. It's no
Just keep your, just talk, kiss the mic and talk, and you'll be very loud.
like this.
Yes, kiss the mic and talk, and you'll be loud.
Is this better?
Yes.
Now I get to move. Sorry, I'm a little awkward. I like this point Ms. Cecil is making about fame and community. Mr. Rohan, I know you're a performer, a DJ, or a musician. I want to ask you, is there any factor in we should give as a community, or any responsibility we should give to artists, to performers, to musicians themselves, to cater some kind of social messaging?
Sure. Thank you for that's a very good question actually. Way back in 2012, I was working for Radio Indigo. Have you heard that channel? So I was known as Rain Man. Okay. So those were the years when Aisha was there. She's still there. So we had a certain age, like on Tuesday, we would do something called we would do something called as Graphic Tuesdays. And we had good lessons about it. Then on Saturday we had Good Goal, we had Remo. No, sorry, not Remo, it's Remo Roberts. He passed away. Okay. This was because to get in the prolific people to teach our listeners what is civic sense. It's simple. It's simple. Like your book says that you reached Mumbai and you saw the toilet in the lavatory. So I made a question to myself, Do I do this all around the place? No, there's a dedicated place. Okay? The council might be doing all around the place, but not the CHALTA. So it's that important for me. Like, it's simple to have civic sense. It's just like you have a spine and it's working. That's all.
Thank you. Miss Elizabeth Watson, you have served yourself as a former principal of the school, and I would like to know how does the school, or in what way does the school encourage the students to have moral values, to have civic values? I know you're known for introducing something called as left out of race, and it was a great success.
Good morning to the young, I should say, about generation Alpha, because now we see everywhere Gen Z, so you are coming as Alphas. You are the Alphas. Yes, just now had me asked me a question. So being in the school, I started as a kindergarten teacher, then as my kids grew up, I went from class 1, then I came to this school to teach in 11th and 12th, the travel and tourism and the CGBM students. And after that, I got to become the... And yes, it's made a lot of difference for me because whatever creative ideas I had learned when I was in Delhi, we were there for 12 years, so my teaching career started over there. So when I got my own school, I said, oh wow, I should actually instill the values and the morals and how to keep the place neat and clean. So this book, CHALTA HAI, when it came to my house, and it was a huge surprise to me. I have to share that little thing, how I am here. Because this book was brought to my house by my son. And he said, Mama, there's a book. I said, CHALTA HAI. It sounds very Hindi, but how is it a non-fiction book? So I started browsing through it, and then I got a call from Miss Sophie. She said, Elizabeth, can you be a panelist? I said, oh, which book, CHALTA HAI? I said, it's already there. So I said, wow, this is what you call coincidence. This is what you say that when the universe wants you all to do something, it is there. Just open your eyes and it's there. So you just open. So I looked into it. I said, yes, the garbage, the civic sense. So when I was in the school, we used to have the SWM. They had told us before I think it was the Sapta over here. People use plastic bags and then they throw it. And then when the monsoons hit, all the drains are clogged and the water is out on the road with a lot of pollution and pollution. And the little children, everyone, they have. So what we did was it was a waste management. They had given a competition to all the schools and told, can you all do something? I said, yes, we will make paper bags for the shops. So every class was asked to make paper bags, and they all made paper bags out of newspaper, well out of waste. And when we collected it, we found Bharatavidya Bhavan, Narayan Mandekar School, had the highest number of paper bags. And the gentleman came to school and called the student that the class which made the highest, they all got a prize. So I think somewhere down the line, the students also knew that we have to make sure this is our land, our place, and keep it neat and clean. Thank you.
And thank you for the surprise as well.
Test. Thank you for your answer. Miss Sophia Mills, I wonder how do you, as a teacher, inculcate any principles about civic sense or any moral? Yes. Inculcate any principles about civic sense or moral responsibility in your teachers. I think every student always needs a hand or two to get started.
First of all, I would say I practice what I preach. Okay, I walk the way, I talk the way, and I live the way. So whatever I want to imbibe in my students, I would see that I do it first. whether it is moral values or whether it is some civic sense or correcting anybody. Even in society, if I see something that is amiss, I will try to see if I can be of help. But in today's world, if you just step ahead, there is a bit of danger. People will catch you on the social media, or somebody will snub at you and say, "This is my life. Yahan chalta hai." So it goes on and on. It's a very casual outlook that we have today, especially in a world where there is an amalgamation of different generations. But I don't give up. I will continue to imbibe through my teaching, through the way I live, through the way I interact, the values that I hold dear to me.
Thank you. Thank you for your response.
I can vouch on what Ms. Sophie said because I was a student as well. And like Ms. Leela, I learned a lot from you as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancet.
Thank you. Anirban Sarkar, I wish I could ask you about government-related questions because of the last thing. But my question to you is far more meaningful. I want to know, are the adults having enough impact? Yes. Are the adults in your school, in your neighborhood, or in your society are having good or positive impact on you about developing good principles?
In our society, there's a very huge problem of parking, first of all. And if you even try to move out of your house, you'll have to take a driving test because it's so crowded over there. So, as in civic sense, there shouldn't be, first of all, parking on the streets. And people should maintain the roads and sewages and not park on them. Instead of parking on the road, park at your home. So it's always a difficult time for the children and the growth and development of them. They don't get enough space to play around and go around with their friends. It's always a hazard for the students to go on the road because the people don't even stop for us anymore. And the zebra crossings aren't safe also.
I can't wait for you to pass your driving test. I hope you don't have the CHALTA HAI attitude after that.
I hope so too. Well, we revolve around the concept and ask all these conceptual things, but we have among ourselves like Nancet, who is actually a proprietor and the founder of for bookstore. And yes, my question to you is rather commercial. What do books like CHALTA HAI that are written about civic sense impact the society? Do books like this really work? Do books like this really become successful in creating an impact?
Yeah, so I think this is the first of its kind, I think. So we'll have to see what happens when people actually read it. But I want to just go back because we used to study this in school. There used to be a subject called community living. I don't know if they have it anymore. And the measure of how important this was could be seen from the fact that only 7 marks for 100. So deep down in our system itself, it is not a value that we appreciate. You know what I mean? It is
this point, are you pointing to something like a conscience that we as citizens should have a strong conscience?
Yeah, but the conscience comes from the knowledge of what is right and what is wrong. And that is already applied. So when you see parents with kids behind cut through traffic, go to the wrong side because the house is there only, why can't I go this side? What are you teaching the child? The child is okay to do these things. So the problem is elsewhere. The minds where the problems are. The problem is nothing elsewhere.
I totally agree with you. I'll share a recent incident. When I came back from Vasco, now there's this garbage collector who comes to our house in the morning. And I've been watching him for a week. And my mom, she does not believe in segregating. So she dumps all the garbage in one bin. And I walked up to her and I said, why don't you segregate the garbage? And she says to me, I hope she's not here. She says to me, what is he there you have to do? She's like, if I'm going to segregate, then what is he going to do? And I'm like, okay. So, as Leo said, a lot of times it's quite difficult for us to change our mindset. And the best way we can do it is by being an example ourselves.
Thank you. Thank you for your response. And Miss Nina, I hope you don't feel alone all the way at this fund. Okay. Just want to be I was wondering that Nancet Marques being your student, as you being the teacher, I'm really curious to see this teachers and relationships in action. I was hoping now that your student has made you feel proud by the end. Hello? By writing a book. Are there any healthy, constructive feedback would you like to, as an author?
I'm thrilled and amazed that he wrote the book on civic sense, which is lacking very much, as you can see around. We ourselves lack it very often. So I'm really thrilled and amazed, and I hope you all will make good use of it and bring a change yourselves.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lila. And if any of you got any questions pertaining to the book, I'm more than happy to answer them.
Miss Elizabeth, I had a question for you. If India had created or implied more strict rules, do you think that there could be a change ever?
In India, actually, Nancet has already said CHALTA HAI. Rules are always there because when we came to Goa, they said plastic bags. That time, I think it was Madam Alina Sadhana. She said if plastic bags are used, it's 1,000 rupees is a fine. So I said, wow, people will stop using plastic bags. So in the school, I said, all of you will make cloth bags and please tell your parents to carry the bag to the shop and don't pick the plastic bag that the shopkeeper is giving you. But 1,000 rupees went out of the window. They were using plastic bags. The next monsoon comes, the trains are here. So yes, I think abroad, when we go abroad, we all follow the rules. But in India, we don't. But Goa is still a very good place. It's not that bad.
Thank you. do have a question. I do have a question for Ms. Sophia. You mentioned briefly that your favorite chapter in the book was Pillar to Post. Would you like to elaborate?
Hello. Check 1, 2, 3. Yes, I read a couple of chapters from the book. I wanted to finish the full book, and it was within a very few days that I had to finish it. But then I decided to read just a few. In between, I gave the book to my daughter who was 12 years, and I told her, "Baby, I need to review this book." "Mom, review the book? You know what it entails?" I said, "Yes." "Which chapter will you take?" She started reading it. I said, "The author told me it takes 4 hours. So can you start and then give me a gist of it?" She read a few and she said, "Mom, this book is so understandable. I can relate to it. I can identify. I want to be the change." So I saw some change when my daughter read a few chapters. The last night she's telling me, "Mama, should I give you a gist of each chapter that I've read?" I said, "Yes, please," as I was doing my housework. So I said, "Baby, stop here, but I will read one." And one that I read is Pillar to Post. And I've experienced this a couple of times, more so in government offices. I wish at our workplace they would give us leave to go to government offices, because it keeps on going. It's today, then tomorrow, and day after, and it goes on. So, it is Pillar to Post. They direct you this side, that side. It leads to frustration. It leads to waste of time. It doesn't get you anywhere. And at the end of it, when you actually reach that point, that counter is closed. We are done for the afternoon or the morning session. So where are we? We are not getting anywhere. But I would like to say, the way Nancet has highlighted throughout the book, a couple of chapters that I've read, he has written it beautifully. He's not condemning, he's not criticizing, but he is indicating or directing us to certain issues and what we, in our small measures, can do to change the situation. We may have rules, we may have government offices, we may have good communication, but if that humane power is not there, the person, the head behind the desk is not present, he's not empathetic, he's not responsible, he's not helpful, then the race will go on. From pillar to post, and going on. Yes, so I'm sure students, we will be having a couple of copies in our library. I would encourage you to read this book, and even if you can buy yourselves one book, I would also promote it as a gift to many people. Okay, so please don't miss out on this book.
Robin, have you got any questions? I know you had the chance to read the book, either to me or to any of us here.
Okay, I'll make this short. What happens is, why did you use the word college room? In your Australia, why did you use the word college room? R-U-N-E, room. Like in your Australia, the rule is a rule. In India, rules are meant to be broken. That's the sense what we come up from. Okay, so the better word I think we could use was guidelines. A new identity. That's what my suggestion is.
I will take that into consideration, but I was kind of thinking in lines the attitude we have, the CHALTA HAI attitude we have towards group. Because, as Leo said, there are no consequences. We find it easy to break them, But I totally agree with you, and I will take that into consideration. Thanks very much.
Thank you for the question, Ron. Okay. Miss Mr. Agarwal. You guys are celebrating a library day, and I have got to tell you, is there anything in writing point of view or any principal fashion? Is there something, a point of view from a younger generation that the author might have missed out or misunderstood by? Would you like to give any kind of suggestions that a topic could have been more nuanced?
As the sense of ownership, as you had said, whatever we own, we protect, is as per your sense of the book. So, if we own India, and if the government owns India, there's a huge difference. Then why in every other country like Saudi Arabia, Australia, New Zealand, then the government owns, but the community still holds on to the cleanliness and all the rules of the society. Whereas that's so.
Thanks very much for the question. Now, if we, no matter which side, the trajectory of our life, we are surrounded with information today. We start our day with reels, we end it, and we are bombarded with information. And we have so much of visual information. Why? In other countries, but the same people coming here are more than happy to be careless. And according to me, the main reason is there is no consequences. Like in the UK, I failed my driving test 3 times, and the reason was because I didn't check my mirror. The second time was because I didn't indicate right. And as I said, no matter what you do, there's consequences in other countries, whereas here, there's no consequences. But as I said, we cannot play the blame game here. We need to do the things that we personally can do. Thank you.
I would like to ask a kind of generalized question to Mr. Leonard. Mr. Leonard, do you think, being in the business for 20 years, do people read? Do people take reading seriously? And if so, what kind of books attract them?
Yes, they do read. So, this that nobody reads and all doesn't foster me wrong. Because I've seen it firsthand that people read. The problem is that we give them the books and then we think that they should read those books. The problem is there. That we decide what somebody else should read. And so the books that we fill our libraries with, and in many cases, many schools don't have libraries, unfortunately. And then they, okay, children are not reading. Because I also organize the co-op fair. And I've seen firsthand how children read. In fact, I have had a book fair at Miss Watson's school, Northern School. We had a book fair where we saw that children were coming and buying books there also. So, children read. This thing that people don't read is not true. What they do is that they have a preference for what the kind of books to read. And that's where the gap is. We don't provide them the books that they would like to read.
I totally agree with you.
Thank you for your response. I think this is a bit of a paradoxical thing, at least in my observation. I would like to come back. I would like to come back to Cecil on this one. You openly, kind of clearly admitted that you used to doze off while reading a book. But I think that it's almost, some people are more likely to finish a book than others. And generally
Even in church, I would never stand up and read at the altar because I have a problem of vowels. I stammer for vowels. Now in my whole conversation, do you feel like I stammer? It's because I know how to hide my words and how to speak out. And I look into everyone's eyes when I speak so I get your attention. And you don't see how I change words to suit my comfort words. So as a child, I never had that. You know, getting up on that would like scare the heck out of me. Though I was a performer on stage, make me read something was something that I would never do. But I think so with performing arts is something that whether you're a sports person, into music, into dance, into anything that is performing arts, it just helps you to build your confidence. And you know, when you continue something that you're passionate about, it takes you a long way and automatically you build confidence. And because of performing arts is where I am today. Because it's given me the confidence to express myself, whether it's through music, dance, or vocal, you know, voicing out. Like, I don't know if you all have seen my hashtag Rasta Goa song. It was a song on potholes. I wish you could play one song on the TV to show you all. I don't come from a singing background. Dance is what I'm passionate about. But I wrote a song in Konkani. The Bedda became Rasta. So the Lorna's famous song, Bedda. Have you ever heard Lorna's famous song? Have you? The boys yawning away. I know we are very boring up here. We're talking about reading and all, he's already yawning. But nevertheless, you never know what can inspire you. So I wrote in my easy words, the Bedda song. I asked a friend of mine who was a musician to do the music on it. And a friend of mine who was into video editing to please conceptualize the concept to put it out. And it was a zero expense video which went viral because everyone contributed to bring out what everyone was facing. So you never know where your art in you can take you. Like Nancet is good at writing. So one trigger that I happened to express got him to write about civic sense. Something like what man taught him when he was growing up to become, that still he had in him. But at that point of time, he didn't know that he would be a writer. So where things may trigger in life through conversation, through meeting new people, you never know. Now we've been talking throughout. I would like to ask the children something. Can I ask them? Yeah. Yes, that's it. It's your event. So boys and girls, can I ask you a question? Yes. Now you're in 11th? Yes. Okay. So you all have topics on civic sense, you all come like this to listen to everyone and all that. When you all have garbage cleanliness drives, you all do everything. Tell me one thing, when you go back home, what is the scenario at home? Do your mom and dad follow the same thing? Do they, after eating a chocolate wrapper, do they put it in the bin? Everyone, I don't say yes because everyone is collectively doing it. When you go out for a picnic or in the market, does anyone eat the biscuit and throw the packet out? I have seen that happen number of times. Do you agree? Yes. People riding the bike, eat a chocolate, throw the wrapper out. Drinking a beer can or a bottle, just throw it. Have you seen that? Water bottles? Have you seen? What do you do when you see something like that? Ask Osandi. What do you do? Testing, okay. What do you all do? Can anyone stand up and tell me when you saw something like this, what did you do? Did anyone have the courage to stand up and tell somebody what you're doing?
Raise your hand.
Can we have the batteries of this mic changed, please? There's someone who's in charge of the batteries. It's going on, going off. Just check. Children, if you're not putting your hand up, there's a big problem. Do you know that? Testing. Do you know that? None of you all have put up your hands to give me an answer. So we sitting here as a panel talking, it's great. It goes in 1 year, it will come out, it will be forgotten tomorrow. What will happen? Because if you do not answer right now, we are not heading in a good way. No one's going to remember what happened here. And this will just be a show of chalta hai attitude once you move out of this hall. No, this is a very serious question. I'll give an example to make you feel comfortable. I saw one tempo parked. He drank his water bottle, he threw the bottle outside. I picked it up and I said, sir, this is not right. Outside your well is not a garbage dump area. Can you please throw it in a bin somewhere? Once you reach. He said, sorry ma'am. Sorry. Another example, one young boy in Talegaon was standing, he was smoking a cigarette. He smoked a cigarette, he threw the butt of the cigarette down. Do you see that happening? Some of your family members might be smoking. They smoke the cigarette butt, or you see people, they smoke and they throw it, they crush it, it's left there. Have you seen that? Have you seen that? Yes. Have you told anyone that please pick it up, this is wrong? This is chalta hai attitude. Who's got the chalta hai attitude? The one who's throwing things down and the one who's watching it. It is our duty. And always remember, when you stand up for what is right, you're always not been termed good. Okay? So it is how you say it. Be positive. You don't have to shout at someone and slap someone. Hit someone like you boys do, no? When someone does wrong, hit each other on the head and on the shoulder and all. So, having this panel discussion, will you go back home and you tell whoever you see in a polite way, say that what you're doing is wrong and can you make it right? Can you do that? Yes. Simply don't say yes in chorus. Like it's a choir, yes, everyone says yes. Don't nod your head. Children, see, it takes one person like Nancet to write a civic sense book. It is all of us over here who practice what we preach. We don't turn away. We're not simply people who say, we throw things today. But it is you generation who have to grow in Goa or wherever you reside in the near future. If you do not stand up for your state, for your place, for your own home, if your parents are doing something wrong, correct. If your brother, your sister is doing something wrong, correct. And tell them, you're sending me to school to be educated. This is one part of the education that we are learning. Then at least your parents or family members will realize. Otherwise your father and mother say, Tanka Santa, to Kenna Chego. This also replies. Sometimes my mom also says that. But I have learned to teach my mom also segregation. Others in our society, garbage is not picked up if you don't segregate. I'm happy that strict rule is there. So children, go back home and at least in a day, do something positive and impact that you can do for Goa. And write it down, like journal it. And tomorrow you never know, your journalism might get published. Okay, so please keep this in mind. I know you all didn't raise your hand. But Nancet, when your next book releases and then it's a different topic, I still ask if you're still invited. As a panelist, I will ask, and I'm hoping more hands will come up. So children, promise? Yes. Yes, and then don't forget. Okay? Promise? Sure? Will you do this? Will you abide by as good citizens of the country, the future citizens? You're laughing. Don't laugh. Our voice, yours equally like mine. Okay? Sure? Alright, thank you.
Thanks very much, Cecil, for this insight.
there are 9 letters in CHALTA HAI and there are 9 people on the stage. So let's just spell the letters out one by one and start with C.
C
Start with C.
H
L
T A
H
A I.
Yeah, thank you guys. Let's give our hands.
I personally would like to thank each and everyone for making this day eventful and special to me. And they say when you give your time, you give a part of your life, you can never give back. So I thank you and I cherish this moment to encourage everyone to get a copy, read this book. And I hope it can make an impact, especially on the younger generation. Thank you very much. I request all my guests now to make way to the first floor and we'll get ourselves some refreshments. Thanks very much. Till then, if any one of you got questions, I'm here to answer. If you want a copy, I'm happy to sign it for you as well. Thank you. Anyone's got questions? No?
Raise your hand. I want to see what
Questions for the mother.
have the courage right now to stand up and ask a question. It starts from here. Do not be shy. It can be the most simplest question.
Okay, any questions from the audience for the author?
Also, is the student Miss Leela requested? Is he here?
So I don't have a question. I just wanted to share one incident. So in the vacations, me and my sister were going out station, and we was just standing near the bus. The bus just came freshly with the passengers. The passengers went off, and the bus driver literally threw the garbage, like the plastic bottles, on the road. While the dustbin was like just beside the bus, and I told my sister to just take it away. And I recorded a video and uploaded it on social media, titled as Civic Sense. Thank you.
Congratulations. And I must tell you, I must say, it was quite brave of you to do that. I will personally give you a signed copy today of my book. Any more questions?
That was anyone else? Yes. Go.
What were the difficulties you faced while publishing your book?
While the publishing process,
Yes.
well, the book was published in UK, and we have different copyright issues over there, and we had to get in touch with printers locally. But apart from that, I had all the help I need. I have an amazing team, and yeah, that's it. Thank you. Thanks for your questions as well.
Thank you more for your question. Anyone else? Let's go with the question.
Alright, I would like to share recently an experience of mine. I don't know if many of you all follow me on social media, but if you do, recently I made a video about Our Lady of Rosary School, the mess that was outside their compound. So the children and the teachers and the parents have to walk through that passage to head to the main bus stop. It was a mess, and as I'm a social activist, a social worker, and I highlight a lot of issues. I do complaints also at the panchayat level, but sometimes because I'm in the opposition side, I'm not heard of. So I use through social media, like the young girl did a Nevenda's thing. I use it a lot. So I did that video of the mess around, and trust me, that video went out next day in the morning at 9:30 to 5 phone. You don't even have to show your face. You can be the crusader of Vasco if you reside here or whichever part, and make impactful videos and say that, sir, this is what we want to do. If you're not good in writing, someone can write a complaint letter attaching photos, because now you can even email. So you youngsters have that facility right now. We didn't have it growing up. We had to like pillar to post. We had to go to the departments. So you all have that. And in case anyone does an impactful deed, reach out to me on social media, tag me, and I would like to make a story of you youngsters who have inspired to do something good and an impact has happened. And I would like to highlight, and I think so Nancet and me would like, I'm sure you'll sign another book there, or we can acknowledge and celebrate you youngsters for doing something good. You don't have to shame anyone. You can highlight it, or you can do a cleanliness drive together where you see garbage around. Let's do this. Tag us in the video and we will celebrate you on social media, saying that this is the future that we need in Goa to protect our Goa. So youngsters, please do something good, tag us, and we will acknowledge it. And so let's do this for these youngsters. Let's uplift them where they need to be uplifted, and I hope your more hands get raised up. Any incident you'd like to share, talk to us right now. He's moving around. I appreciate that. Can we have more hands? Small incidents that you all have done. Come on. I like you all pointing out to someone behind, but not yourselves. Come on. Girls, we had one boy, one girl. Any more? Nothing? Small? You told your younger sister, neighbor, you did some cleanliness around in your vicinity. No? You will do now? Yes. Sure? Ma'am? Since you're part of this school, every month if you can have someone that what good have you done in a monthly kind of way, good civic sense kind of practice, and that child can be awarded. Like, and you'll have a screen at your entrance. Highlight that. Like that child has done something great, because everyone likes to be appreciated. I like when someone says, Cecil, you've done a good job. Won't you like that, youngsters? So if you do a good job, reach out to ma'am, and I think so they will put you up student of the month who has done great civic sense. I think so we can do something like that to start the ball rolling for the youngsters here. Okay? Done. Let's go get most number stars.
Thanks very much, Cecil. Before we wind up, Cecil would like to quickly tell us about the latest production.
Oh yeah, okay. So, I keep forgetting. So, since I'm into performing arts, from the dance, we moved to theatre, and we are happy to announce a Broadway musical show, which we showcased in the month of May in Panjim and Kala Academy. We had 2 full shows. It's done by youngsters right from 10 years to a senior most person who's 70 years, a 40 cast crew, alright, and it's on the story of Joseph. And it's a beautiful story showing about how sometimes a young boy who dreams and then he's thrown away by his family, and then how he moves around in the world and how he reaches great heights, and how then he comes back home to his family to help his family grow when they are in poverty. So it's a lovely story. It's called Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dream Code. It's going to be showcased at Ravindra Bhavan, Margao. We are hoping we would come to Vasco, but right now we're doing the production in Margao. We'll have 2 shows on the 21st of August, Friday. If you're into music, dance, theatre, please watch it. You will be amazed how these youngsters have worked very hard, and every day, every alternate day, we still have rehearsals dedicatedly coming. And teachers, if you have students, bring them for the show. The more exposure the children have, not only living in Goa. I'm born and brought up in Vasco. Many of you all might not know. I was born in Baina, Civic Cooperative Housing Society, besides the old Sanjeevani Hospital. And it's been 15, 16 years I moved to Panjim. But if you think Vasco is not the place, but this is the place that made me who I am. I just moved out and I've grown because I had opportunities and I made a way of opportunities so that I can learn as much as possible. Just like you're a small person from Vasco City who dreamt big and becoming someone. My parents are very small people, not like me vocal, but each one of us is different. Are all 5 fingers the same? Even your brother, sister won't be the same. They will be too different. One will be talkative, one will be very quiet. But you never know who can do incredible things. Like ma'am, we were just having a chat and she was saying, you never know what can happen in the future. So dream, keep learning, keep doing good things, keep making people smile and happy and do something good to your contribution for Goa. Alright? And 21st August, be there for the Broadway musical show. Thank you.
Thank you, Cecil. Thanks again, everyone, for being here. The first floor.